welcome to Design and Invest. I am your host, William John Raitt. This is a segment of Design Mayor Mondays. Okay, today we are interviewing Daniel Maltzman. He is an accomplished artist here in Los Angeles and somebody who I hope will be a good friend of mine going forward. I'm really looking forward to this relationship, and I think we have a lot of synergies, a lot of connections, and we, sort of think a lot alike. So let's go in, meet with him, and pick his brain, get into the mind of Maltzman. All right, guys, we are with the famous Daniel Maltzman. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely, man.
I've been trying to get you down for a long time to nail you down for an interview because you were the man. I love your work. I own a couple pieces of his myself. Really interesting how I came across those. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Daniel, how long have you been doing this for?
Been doing this for 30 years. Every day,
Wow.
all day. This is my life, my passion. This is everything, man. I wake up in the morning. I usually have ideas when I go to sleep, or they're for the week.
Do you write them down
or whatever? You know what? I probably should, man. I don't know.
But you just sort of marinate on them and.
Yeah, a lot of them are when I go to sleep. I have a special app on my phone.
Okay.
And I play around and I draw.
Oh, okay.
And I put things together and I write notes and
so that is your writing down, yeah.
Yeah. Here, I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to see.
Well, no, I'm just curious to see it, yeah.
Because this is one I did last night, and this is something I'm gonna probably put together today.
That's cool. When that comes to life, that's gonna look really cool.
Yeah, constantly I'm trying to pull ideas and make sure that every day is productive, because I just feel that if I come into the studio and I don't have ideas and I'm not ready to go and I'm not productive, I'm wasting the day.
Yeah.
And I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting, it's my business.
For sure. Okay, so tell me your origin story. Who is Daniel Maltzman and the sort of makings of like the beginning of you and how you came about?
Yeah, Daniel Maltzman, just a really nice guy, no conflicts anywhere, just likes to keep life peaceful, make everybody happy, and as long as I'm able, look at this, I get chills, man.
Yeah.
Very, very spiritual, very positive, and
you're from LA? You're born and raised here?
Yeah, born and raised here in Los Angeles.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know, I see a lot of your paintings, like the one back there, you have the LA sort of cityscape.
That's actually a photo that I took when I was at the Beverly Hilton Hotel.
Okay.
And I was looking down, and it was the most
beautiful
view.
Yeah.
So I took a photo of it and then took my interpretation.
And if anybody knows LA, they know that's LA. You can see the Wells Fargo building.
And everything that I do has my style into the painting, whether it be a baseball card, a butterfly, a woman, anything, a Warhol.
Yeah.
It's just about creating my style. But going back to what you said, the most important thing in life is being a good human.
Yeah.
I've got something that recently came up, and it's called the Good Human Club. So I'm putting together something. It's probably going to be a bracelet or a necklace or something that I'm going to give to people who I feel are good humans.
That's amazing. I mean, not enough people talk about that too, having empathy for others and just being, I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. I think I mentioned to you last night. His whole thing is doing the right thing is always the right thing. And that's 100%. Absolutely true. Like, I mean, if you, and it's kind of like behavior breeds behavior. When you put this out to the universe, it comes back to you in ways that you'll never imagine. You know what I mean? So I love that you're doing something like that, because that's not enough people talk about it.
We're living in an environment now where people are waking up to the oppression that's here in America, the racial injustice, the problem with the police. Political situation is just off the charts crazy right now. And everyone's got their views. They're positive, and some people might agree, others don't. It's really important though for everybody to get together. And the most important thing is be nice, man.
Be nice. So were your parents painters? I mean, where did that come from?
It came from my aunt.
Oh,
so my aunt, may she rest in peace, her name was Muriel Roston, and she lived in San Diego. And as a kid, I would constantly go to San Diego and I would work with her, and she would teach me certain tricks and things. And she was a big part of where I am right now.
That's great.
Fantastic, great.
Did you? And this is your mom's or dad's?
This is my dad's sister.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she was 15 years older than my dad.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, my dad's real sick right now.
Oh,
He's got
sorry.
Parkinson's.
Oh shit.
So I go after work. I'm like a machine now. I go home, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, go to my parents' house, visit my parents, go back home, make sure, I like to sleep. I like to make sure that I get a good 8 hours
It's important.
sleep.
But,
I wake up early. I wake up at like 5 or 6 o'clock.
That's great. I wish I had that in me.
Single day. And I used to play a lot of golf.
Yeah.
Golf was a big part of what my life is all about. And all my friends, all my clients, all my connections, everything was golf. But unfortunately, the last couple of years, my back's been really bad. So I can't even golf right now.
Well, that's what 30 years of hovering over paintings will do to you.
Yeah, and golfing.
Well, yeah. That's.
But yeah.
So were you formally trained? Did you go to school for this?
You know, interesting enough, I took a lot of classes in college.
Yeah.
I took classes in high school. I had friends of mine that I would pay in order to give me lessons and teach.
Oh, that's cool.
Another one, may he rest in peace. There's another friend of mine, a guy named Jim, who passed away maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Taught me so many things with what I'm doing now, and tricks to the trade, and everything from stenciling and printing and taping things off, and there's a lot of tricks I won't even mention.
Yeah. Do you do prints?
Cool. I really don't like to do prints because I've done this for so long.
Yeah.
I do have an inventory that is just strictly hand painted, actual physical, one-of-a-kind paintings.
Yeah.
I do spin-offs of certain paintings, but they'll all be hand painted.
Okay.
I do work with stencils, but not prints.
Not so much.
I did a couple, and I did them for charity.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to not do that too. But some people like
you can
specialize.
Do so much work if you print.
Yeah.
You can put out thousands and thousands of pieces like this.
Yeah.
But if you're doing hand painted, everything actual, I think it keeps the value of the paintings.
Yeah.
And
it's more powerful for sure. Yeah. Well, that's great. And so, anybody else in your family aside from your aunt that paints, or is this just
when I was a kid, my father, he would travel to Europe, and he would purchase art from like Picasso and Chagall and Moreau and all these incredible artists, but they were all prints.
Yeah.
And then he had this great idea to help out the charity organizations, and he would sell them to
auctions and stuff.
He was just a real fun, spirited man. So he would go to these auctions.
Well, it sounds like he had the creative gene too. I mean, that's a creative process to take.
He was a singer, so he would sing at these things, and just amazing, really cool stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, my adopted father is a composer. He writes novels, and so being in that household, I mean, I had amazing artists coming through the door. God, I mean, like. Who's the Kelly Freeze?
Okay.
Do you know who that is? He's the guy who did the Mad Magazine. Artist.
Absolutely. By the way, I love doing cartoon stuff. I've taken a lot.
I love your cartoon work. Yeah.
From Superman to Batman to Snoopy to art.
And we'll show you a bunch of his cartoon stuff here in a little bit too.
Created. I took a little spin off of the M&Ms. And everything that I do is a spin-off of something, because obviously they all have rights. Yeah. But there's also the right to public domain to be able to use certain things that are out there in the public.
So what do you draw from? What's your muse? Like what inspires you? You said that you do spin-offs and things like that.
Say that. I don't really have actual physical muses.
Okay.
My muse is the computer. I mean, I'm looking at things and I'm creating ideas, and because we're in this 2020 world right now and everything is, so computer related, I'm always pulling ideas off of things, not other people's art. I do not ever would never want someone to copy my art. I wouldn't want to copy someone else's art, but I would take ideas from what I see. Yeah,
like Warhol, it's homage more so than,
of course.
And then I see the Louis Vuitton, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice because we're living in a world also that, it's very stylish, and fashion is a big thing.
Yeah, and it's pop art. I mean, it's
for sure. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I mean, obviously, Mr. Brainwash, everyone knows who he is, and he's been doing this for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
But what I've been doing was 10 years before he even was doing this. I've been doing that type of idea. So I've kind of pulled a lot of those back because I think he's established himself in a way that I haven't yet, but I don't want people to confuse my work and go, oh, that's Mr. Brainwash. So
I don't think they would.
Pulling off.
Now that I really know your style, like I could even if you didn't sign the piece, I could tell like.
And I'm influenced by many. I mean, here's one right here, Mr. Warhol.
Yeah.
What an influence. I mean, almost everything I do has a little bit of an influence of Warhol. And another big one is Gerhard Richter.
Yeah.
And I don't like do the exact same paintings or try to, but I use part of what he does with his color pulling as a lot of my background.
No, that all artists do. Like that's a big thing. I know yesterday we were talking about baseball cards and things like that. I'm probably going to trade him my baseball card collection, which is actually pretty substantial. I collected many years ago, but I mean now they're just paperweights. So he has some really cool collage stuff that he's doing in paintings like this Mickey Mantle you see back here. Tell us a little bit about that and what got you doing that. I'm sure it came from your upbringing.
Actually, before art, when I was a kid, 8 years old, I played Little League.
Me too,
baseball was a huge passion for me. I loved it. But what I loved more than baseball was going to the pharmacy before I would go and I would buy baseball cards. And then I found out like my grandparents' kids, they all had baseball cards and they were too busy doing other things in their life. So I'd be a little 10-year-old kid or something. Oh, hey, can I have your old baseball cards? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I'd have bags and bags of cards. And then when I went away to college, I went to San Diego State University. When I went away to college, my mom had someone painting her house. And my mom was just so my mom's alive. Nice, sweet, nicest lady in the world. And the painter asked her, oh, by any way, can we throw away these old radios, or can we throw away this or that or whatever? She said, yeah, whatever you need to, because I wasn't there and I didn't see. She ended up giving the guy my whole entire baseball collection.
So man.
After that,
you can't be mad at mom too. Like that's a tough one.
So after that, like in the late 80s, almost 90, around that time, I would put an ad in the Times, in the LA Times, and I would call people that would respond to my ad, and I would drive out and I would check out their collections, and I would buy collections to make up for what I lost. So I felt like,
you feel that the void.
And it's such a passion for me. And then recently, a couple years ago, as everything I paint has like a body of work and a style of what it is for that time period. So at that time, when I was getting back into the baseball cards again, I decided, you know what? How cool would it be to paint a life-size card of like Mickey Mantle, or
that's rad.
a card that you can't get, or that you'd have to pay a lot of money for, or hard to find. But instead, I'm making it as a painting, and therefore, painting is history, and it's a record of us being in a certain place and time.
What I love about art the most is that and you said you're a spiritual person too, and I very much am too. And I have this weird sort of channeling kind of vibe with art, always have. And so when I'm in front of a painting, I feel the artist. I feel I feel strokes. I mean, and it's a crazy feeling. Awesome. I have got goosebumps talking about it because it's real.
I see it right
it's a real thing. Like I feel people's, and that's why I'm so connected to art, to artists, to history. So really, what you're doing here is you're immortalizing yourself. I mean, this is with you forever.
Yeah,
and this will be here.
Chills now thinking of
Dude,
that.
it's amazing.
So
that's why I love artists. I love talking.
When I pass, every one of these pieces will be in somebody else's home or place or wherever it is. And it lives on. So look at
my favorite artist is Van Gogh.
I love it.
And Van Gogh, and it's not so much the reasons of his work and how he did it, but it really is too, though. But like, it's his story. It's that he didn't sell art when he was alive. He just produced.
No, he died
his brother,
with nothing.
He died with nothing. His brother Theo, and I'm really close to my brother too. We support each other in sort of in ventures and just ideas and bat things off each other, and like we're each other's rocks. In a lot of ways. He was that for his brother, and he died a year after his brother died. After his brother committed suicide, he died a year later
Wow.
Like, you know, it was.
Yeah.
And then it was his wife, the brother's wife, Theo's wife, that made Van Gogh famous.
Amazing.
She was just a salesperson, you know, and she took all of his pieces.
Well, that's the other thing with art. You need to have sales behind you. I'm the artist. I'm not the sales guy.
Yeah.
But I'm so passionate about it that a lot.
Well, you're a good
times,
talker too, so it's
a lot of times I end up selling myself because I'm likable. People like me. I try to just be nice to everybody.
I'm sure that's
like I was talking about before, which is even more important than my art, is just be non-conflictual. And I think that it just makes life so much better.
No, it's very true, man. And seeing, you know, being here in your studio and seeing your work in person, I mean, I own a couple pieces, but seeing them here, like, is amazing, because I'm seeing you too, and I'm getting to know you better.
Right. Art's in a really good place right now.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of amazing
artists. I agree with you, yeah.
And I think that the world is just all about art. I mean, no one ever really cared about art nearly to the point that they do now. And because, as I mentioned before,
not like they do now. Now it's a different. I 100% agree with you.
Computers and with all these ideas, and with Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all this other stuff, you have a platform that people start seeing your art. Yeah. And I try to be very private, but you know, it's kind of hard to do that. Yeah. And it's also.
I know you said you don't have your work in like a lot of galleries and stuff.
I do. I think it's very important for an artist to establish pricing. Yeah. To establish, you know, the galleries are what establish what your painting should be selling at. You can't just go to somebody that comes and wants to buy a piece from you and say, oh, how much is it? You can't just make up a price. Yeah. You have to have a price where they're selling at in galleries and multiple
and it's shareable
sales.
too and things like that.
Yeah,
and
it
like,
just makes people feel more comfortable.
So are you in a lot of galleries?
I am. I'm in.
You are? Okay, because I thought.
I'm in a number of galleries.
Okay.
I have about 4 or 5 galleries. Okay. I'm working with some other new ones now. But
anything international too? Do you do international
I do.
stuff?
I was in Amsterdam, in Germany.
Love Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Well, mainly because of Van Gogh museums there.
Yeah. And then I was also in out here in the United States. I was in Texas. Okay. In Austin, Texas, with a great gallery out there. Lisa Russell Collection is a gallery. Then in San Francisco, another gallery out there. I did a lot of work in Palm Springs.
Yeah, Palm Springs.
Warhol.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of Marilyn paintings that are all pretty much paintings that I did in Palm Springs for a long time.
I love that. And you said...
and I also spent a lot of time in Palm Springs. I used to play a lot of golf out there.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Yeah. A really interesting thing, I know you're asking me questions, but I'll tell you something you might not realize. But because I have a wide variety of paintings, it just so happened that when my back went out on me, I was trying to figure out a way to get the paintings to people so I can do it in a bigger way. Yeah. And it's funny because some staging people approached me, and I've always helped friends of mine with staging situations, but I've never really taken it to this level. So now I have a number of great people, wonderful developers and brokers, and most of the homes are very, very, very high end. I don't do anything that's small.
Well, you know, it's right up my alley.
And it's fun for me. I put together a home, and it feels like I've got like a little Maltzy gallery in each of the homes.
It is a super smart idea. Yeah. As you know, I have a staging business. It's a smaller staging business, so most of these paintings, I do small homes and things like that. So
I got small paintings.
Oh, I'd love to carry your work. I just can't assure that, like at these properties, you know. Yeah. But yeah, they're small jobs. But my buddy and mentor Brett Baer, I know that you know Brett as well.
Yeah, I've been working with Brett too.
He owns Vesta, and this is right up their alley. And people that are buying that caliber of home are the eyeballs that you want on your product.
And the great
so it's
thing
perfect. It's a great.
Like I even get calls from people. It's so funny. They're like, "Damn, man, these people are coming into the home, and they just want to buy the art. They don't even want the home. They want to buy the art." And then it's funny because when they're trying to buy the home, the art at the beginning. The art is important to them, but as they figure how expensive the house is, that they start cutting back on things, and they start cutting back a little bit on the art.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But I'm so happy it's been working out. But, you know, my prices are very moderate compared to the art world.
Yeah.
When you're looking at art and you look at, you know, anything from Picasso to Basquiat to Warhol to, these things are in the millions. So I'm just a little guy. I'm this little guy down here. But to artists that are younger and that are just starting out, you know, I'm up here. I'm making my ways.
Yeah. So how?
And I don't like talking prices.
No. I know. We don't talk pricing.
That's okay.
People. How long? When's the last day job you had?
Long time ago. Man.
Yeah. I like that question.
Yeah. I've always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So even when I was younger, I worked and made vests. And the vests that I would make, I would sell to different stores. I had about 25 stores from New York to Los Angeles, all throughout.
Were these painted?
No, they were actually, I would have somebody sew them, but I would design them all.
Okay.
And I would actually go downtown, get the material, throw it in the back of my car, bring it, make all the samples with a friend of mine that was.
That's cool. Do you still have any?
Taylor, I do.
That's cool.
I still have the best. Yeah,
I had an import. One of my first ventures was I had an import business where I imported straight out of college. I started an import company, importing home accessories, vases, candle holders, stuff like that. And I designed it all myself. And so everything here was fresh. It was new. Nobody had seen it. Of course, people knock you off and think I didn't care because I was on to the next, and keep the you know, people that care about that kind of stuff. Honestly, they need to not. That's not a true entrepreneur, because true entrepreneurs want to fail and want somebody to freaking to knock you off so they can just create the next one and do like that.
Yeah,
but I still have some of my old product that I designed.
The funny thing is with this, when I started making the vests and sold them to all the stores, I had a really big deal with Ann Taylor, if anyone remembers.
Yeah, Ann Taylor's Loft, Ann Taylor.
They were big.
Yep.
So I was doing like 5,000 pieces at a time. And I was only in my 20s.
Wow.
And I was finally starting to make a few bucks with it. And then all of a sudden I had a little situation where one of the orders fell, and it was a lot of money, and I couldn't really afford to lose that kind of money. And it woke me up, and I realized, hey, you know what? I'm making pretty good money with this, but I'm taking some major chances, so I think I'm gonna bail. So I was out of there after that. And then I started working with a couple friends of mine, and we ran some nightclubs in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's fun.
Had so much fun. We were just in charge of getting people in the door and making the place fun and lively and exciting, and it was great.
That's great. When was this, like the 90s?
It was Bar One. It was one of the hottest clubs ever.
That's fun, man.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a lot of the people that are here in LA are not from here or like born here. It's a totally different kind of
And then
vibe.
I dabbled in real estate.
Oh, what do you mean by that? Investing or selling?
I went
and
got my real estate license after college, and this was 1989. And when I got my license, it was a really bad time.
Yeah.
Because we were in a bad financial situation. Yeah. And no one was really buying or selling homes. And I decided that, you know what, this isn't for me. Pulled out.
Yeah.
And now, the next thing I found after that was art. But I was never a big day job person. I would always figure out a way to do something.
My day
I
job.
worked for my dad. That was a day job.
What did your dad do?
My dad had a company that made carburetors, and it was called Tomco Carburetor Company, and they would remanufacture the carburetors. Okay. So they had me all over the country, flying all over, meeting people, putting all these deals together. Yeah. And I was just a little guy there too, but I couldn't stand having to go downtown, sit in an office. I couldn't
do it. My wife does that, and I hats off to her, but I could never do that. Like all of the jobs I've had were either my own ventures, because I'm a serial entrepreneur, or they were sales jobs. Oh yeah, sales job, and I always crushed the sales jobs because that's just I live and breathe.
I mean, I had a couple sales jobs where I'd sell like telephone service.
Oh God!
I'd go into some big company and I'd try to talk them into switching over from AT&T to some little company called like Excel or something. And I was working like on commissions, and I tried like some multi-level marketing type situations that were health related and things of that nature.
It's interesting.
It's a tough world, and that's why like I really see how people now that are poor and that are really having tough times, it's not easy out there, man.
God no.
It's not easy, and the world's so crazy right now that I do a lot of charity work too.
That's great.
paintings to so many
for like silent auction type stuff and
silent auction, all kinds of.
I'll keep you posted. I do a lot of.
I'll be getting calls every day from everyone now. Hey, we need a painting for this year.
I do
help out plenty.
Children's Hospital is what I do. What I give back most to. I go to like a celebrity, not a celebrity, but a charity golf event every year.
Oh, nice.
Actually, this year is canceled, unfortunately. But I buy a lot of stuff from them, and I'm going to start getting more involved with that too, because I want to help curate their silent auction and help them a little better.
Well, I'll help you out.
Yeah, that would be freaking cool, man. So tell me, when you went to school, what did you major in?
So I majored in psychology,
and
I think that's part of why
actually.
I get those chills, and I'm pretty spiritual, and try to be, a good person, because it's really important in life to, to really understand others, and it's just been a good learning experience.
No, I mean, there's a lot of psychology in sales, in
everything,
in art
and business. I also studied business, and I also studied art. So between psychology, business, and art, it's going to put me in a place now that what I'm doing, everything I learned in college and in my
I went to another beach city type college. I went to Santa Barbara.
Nice.
UCSB.
That's amazing.
And so I had a similar type vibe there. But I majored in history of art and architecture, and but I almost minored in psychology. If they offered a minor in art, I would have done that too.
Yeah.
But they didn't. It was only a double major.
If I could have made a living by being a psychologist, I would have done that too. But it's.
I don't think you would have enjoyed that.
No. I'm so happy that things ended up.
Well, this is your passion. You could tell this is.
You can wake up in the morning and do what you want.
Be excited,
and make that be your life and your business.
It's everything.
You're way ahead of the game there.
Like me, when I wake up, I can't wait to get to my job sites. I can't wait to, sell the next person on staging or
Fantastic.
and do. So I do all the job walks. I do all of the face-to-faces.
I remember the first call when you called me.
Yeah, I just cold called them.
I somehow picked up one of your pieces in some auction thing or whatever it was.
No, I bought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about
So
it?
there's a company called Bowery Home. And they had a staging business, and I bought all of their inventory.
Amazing.
And in the inventory, tons of stretched fabric type, artworks and things like that. But there were a couple originals by you, and I had them at houses. And things like that. I was like, this is too good to be like. And I Googled your name because it was very legible at the bottom. and actually, that's good on you for signing your name.
I signed that one well. Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't have been here today.
So I Googled him, and I'm like, this guy's the real deal. And so I just hit him up on Instagram. I reached out to him, and then and he was very receptive and open. And I'm like, dude, this guy's rad. I was like, I need to interview you, and I just wanted to know more about the painting that I had. And it's one of his shadow figures. I'll drop in a slide right here too, of the pieces I have, and an art thief as well. And I just asked you about him, and I said, hey, tell me about this chapter. Tell me about this story. And you said I had a real special piece. The Shadow series was very close to you. Tell me a bit about the Shadow series that you do.
Yeah. So when I first started painting, I've always painted, I've always drawn, but I wasn't an expert. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And every day it's just experimenting, and little by little you keep growing up that ladder. And when you finally, you're never finished. To get up here, even when you're dead, you're not there. So bottom line is, I always painted abstract for the beginning of my career for the first 10 years. And everything I did was geometric type installation, a lot of stuff with tape and lines and colors. And I studied a lot of artists, a lot of the older artists like Hans Hofmann, and got a lot of, color and balance and Richter, and a lot of that was just feel. So then, after I was doing that, I just noticed how the shadows, I was with a friend of mine and we were painting together, an old girlfriend of mine, and when the shadows were hitting a certain way onto the canvas, I saw it and I started kind of going around it life size.
Creates great perspective, so
I was putting together these life-size figures of my friend, and I started painting these shadow figures of them. And when I do something, I just get into it. I do tons and tons and tons of the same stuff, and that's where the ADD kind of comes in. And all of a sudden I started just painting shadow figures. So for a couple of years I would paint all these shadows. That's like the one that you have.
Yeah,
the shadow figures.
I love it. Yeah.
And I would incorporate that with, I call it paintability. So all different types of materials I'm experiencing with. All different kinds of paints, mixing oils with acrylics, throwing Ajax in there. I mean, all kinds. Painting on different surfaces.
The one I have is very textured. It's very, it's got dense.
Texture, a lot of texture paste into the painting. And I would paint on wood and all these different things. But that's where the shadows came in.
What period was that? What years?
That was probably 1990.
1990s when you started, and you still do them occasionally, right? And you like.
I do them all the time still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of the things I do, I continue doing because a lot of times I'll take something that I've done, and I'll do my version of a more current interpretation of what that painting was 20 years ago. And for me, that's fun, but it also builds the fact that when people see your work, they've got to recognize it as you.
That's if I saw that
most important thing
a mile away, I would
work,
recognize it,
Anyone that, when they say, oh, I saw your work here or there, I knew it was you. And that makes me feel so good because to be a great artist, you have to have your work recognizable and distinguished from all the other artists that are out there.
Well, that's great. So we talked about a few of the life-size baseball cards. I freaking love that. I would love to see ones that are super abstract versions of them too. Like I'm sure that you're getting a new baseball cards now. I'm sure you're gonna be doing some cool stuff.
Without even painting the baseball players. I called it childhood dreams. Because when I lost all my baseball cards, it's a big thing to me. It was a tear to my heart. And what I did was I did one of my old abstract paintings and I put the plastics that the baseball cards were in on the painting and I collaged it all in. And then I put the actual cards of like Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, all the big players inside of those so they can be taken out. They weren't destroyed, but they were incorporated in childhood dreams.
That's cool.
That's what the
you
very
still have
first
that?
one. I do.
That's cool. Okay. So your baseball cards, you're doing a bunch of collages now. I'm actually going to give you my collection and trade you for some.
I love it, man.
I'm so excited about that too.
I'm going to give you some amazing paintings for it, and it's going to be a great win-win. As a matter of fact, this morning I just posted on my Instagram because of what happened with us. I posted a couple of cards from one of my other trades and said, "This is one of my trades," and it was like Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson.
Well, you're gonna get some more for me,
50s. And I said, if anyone wants to make trades, I'm interested. I mean, I'm not gonna just trade my painting for baseball cards. But if there's value to it, and if they're the right cards,
that's so cool. And so, tell me about some of your other sort of pieces and themes that you're doing right now.
The biggest theme was after I did. After I did the shadow figures, I started painting women's faces. So I was trying to get better as an artist. So everything that I did was from photographs that I would find from magazines. And then I would take those photographs and I would turn them into paintings using that photograph as my base for what I'm painting with these women. So I started painting everything I started with Marilyn Monroe, and then did some Audrey Hepburn, and then just did regular, normal people. And I had this woman called the Babe. And if anyone knows my career, has followed at all, there's probably 50 paintings of the Babe because she was like my muse. And she actually happened to be Howard Stern's wife, Beth Ostrowski, in the picture. I didn't even really know it because I'm just going by these pictures. So 20 years later, I get a call from Howard Stern's attorneys, and they're basically telling me, well, I don't know, this is kind of a problem. So I ended up giving Howard a painting of Babe and sent it to his home in New York. And we kind of passed away any type of copyrights issues or whatever. And
that's funny.
I mean, but it was pretty funny. That's really funny.
That's a cool story. And so you're still painting the Babe or no?
Not really painting the Babe anymore. I think I got enough of the Babe. So.
But I see some butterflies now.
You'll see a lot of the Babe though. That's definitely, I think, I love, the Babe's amazing. And the Babe was interesting because there was a very, very cool restaurant in Los Angeles, and it was called One Sunset.
Okay.
So at one sunset, they had the Babe on their main wall, and it was a major bar restaurant.
That's cool.
So when the Babe was up there,
yeah,
everybody would come to me and just, oh my God, your painting is amazing,
yeah,
blah, and it started really creating a buzz. And that's why the Babe was really neat, and it opened up a lot of doors and a lot of
that's
stuff
so cool, man. So I'm starting to see some butterflies, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the butterflies. I love them, and we'll show you a couple more too here in a little bit. He's doing some cool stencil work with butterflies too, and just awesome stuff. Is there meaning behind that, or what inspired?
There is. It's the transformation of my career, pretty much. It's more just like freedom. It's also what's going on with the world. The butterfly is just such a positive figure, and I just once I started painting them and showing them to people, everybody was like, "Oh my God, I love your butterflies."
Yeah.
And when people like what I do, it gives me more energy and makes me want to do more of those things. So because everybody liked and was telling me how much they loved those butterflies, it just became something I started doing. It was also
Did you start by doing stencil butterflies, or was it butterflies and then it turned to
drawing them, doing them on my phone?
Yeah, okay.
And then bringing them into the canvas, and then they're nice because I could go in and out of them in the canvas and basically paint them and then destroy them and leave edges on them and then repaint them.
I love it.
And
They're very deep,
and continue to where the butterfly is shaped. And it's real thick into the canvas because it's in and out of the way the paints are being used.
Drips and I love it.
And that's the other thing of my style. It's all drips and colors and movement of the paints.
What I love is that the one that I have hung the way it's supposed to be hung. The drips drop off to the right of it. So it's not dropping down. It's dropping to this, and it looks freaking cool.
The reason is it happens like that because as I'm working on the painting, I turn it around like a clock and turn it in different directions, and then I'll even paint it upside down so I can get that feeling of the drips coming the other way too.
That's rad, man. I'd love for you to take us through some of your favorites and some of your ones that really are Maltzman.
I will.
And then we can
let me tell you a little bit about some of these. So like this is obviously the baseball card one that we were talking about.
Yeah. So
here we go.
So here's one of your Marilyns. Yeah.
This is a huge part of what I do. Amazing. All because of how they're done. Like this was an old background, just where the glasses were and where the side of the painting is. And then what I did was
that's a whole painting in itself.
Afterwards. So this is all kind of cut out from underneath.
Yeah.
So you're getting these layers. A real important thing in art is getting layers.
It's kind of like my tattoo. Have you seen my tattoo? I have Van Gogh Starry Night, but with my last name.
Oh yeah.
So it's like as though Van Gogh's here, and it punched out with like the glasses.
Style, man.
Oh, thanks, dude.
And then this is just a normal girl. This isn't anyone in particular.
It's beautiful though.
It's just, I love.
And you have the drips, and see what I mean about this drips going off to the side.
Just playing with a little bit of paint. Yeah, the paint's coming this way, but look at the layering, and you can see the thickness of the canvas, and it's
if I didn't see your name, I would know this was you. This is
good. That's not good. I would think that you would know it's me. Because...
No, I would.
Oh, I would know it.
No, I would recognize this as you.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
This is this has similar tones also to the one I have. And similar colors.
So different in theme than all these other ones, so it makes it.
Yeah, tell me about the graffiti. You got some graffiti there too, huh?
Graffiti, but just a little bit of spray paint.
Yeah.
To give it a little bit of a cool street feel to it.
Were you a street artist back in the days?
Never really did anything in the street.
I know it's a lot of transition type artists like that. Yeah.
I respect people's possessions and buildings and things like that. So to me, it's not something that I feel I need to do.
Yeah.
I'd rather do it on canvas so somebody can have it and buy it and put it in their house, or I give it, or whatever it is. But I like to.
Do you do commissions for people?
Like I do a lot of commissions.
So people come to you, hey, can you do some my cute little
all the time.
Pooch? Can you paint my pooch?
Yeah, I was on the Dog Whisperer, and I did a painting of Caesar's dog.
That's cool.
Hundreds of thousands of people saw that, and because of that, people knew that my paintings were a lot of the dogs, and that was probably about 15 years ago.
That's pretty cool.
That was fun.
Who are some other clients that you've done work like that for? Like you, Caesar?
I did some work for Petra Ecclestone.
Okay.
But it wasn't a commission thing. It was more where she saw the women paintings.
Yeah.
And a designer many years ago came to me and said, hey, I'm working with somebody, I can't really tell you who it is.
Yeah.
I was actually with a client of mine in London, and we were going to do a trip to the south of France and go all over Europe with him and his family.
Whoa.
And this was like
that would have
15
been,
years
you didn't
ago.
do
No,
it?
I went.
Oh, you did?
I flew. I was in London.
That's
I get a call from this guy,
and
he's like, my client, I can't tell you who it is, but he had just visited me in my studio a couple days before this. So he says, I think you need to be there to show her, or to show me, so I can show her what it is, but I need it immediately because she was just buying a house.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, business is very important to me.
Yeah.
It's not even the money, it's just the respect to the people you're dealing with.
Yeah, if it starts being the money, then that's when it's...
Yeah, you can't take it for granted.
Yeah.
So it was probably my biggest sale ever at the time. And all of a sudden, I go from flying to London, let's say it's a Saturday, to jumping back on the plane on Sunday to come back home, cancel the trip with one of my best friends and his family that was also one of my really good clients. And instead, I ended up making this sale to them, and they ended up buying a lot of paintings.
That's great.
And it created a really good relationship, which we also sold to some other people that he was working with.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
and
I don't like to mention names of clients or anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't even meet her, but the cool thing is, she's such a, major,
as long as you do what you love, it'll show through and others will see it, and then it just grows and grows and grows. And it's just layers.
Yeah.
It's just like all these layers, and I love that. I love that.
This is a cool
I love hearing
one.
stories of artists like yourself. Show me a couple of your other pieces that are...
One of them that's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's so funny. I like to be playful with the work too. So look at this. I'm almost 6 feet. This piece here is life size. I mean, come on, a life size, cool M&M looking type of thing. But it's not. I didn't like steal an M&M. I put a little M on it, used a little bit of their thing, created the glasses, created everything about it, just put together a real fun piece. And the funny thing is, I recently posted it on Instagram, and I got more people making comments on this particular piece than almost anything that I've done.
It's captivating. I mean, these colors, it's
fun. It's just really fun. Yeah, and when you put this in a house, I think it's going to give it a nice pop.
Oh my God,
make you feel good.
Yes,
and another one is...
Yeah, this is one of your art thieves. Tell me about one of the paintings that I have of his. It's a smaller one.
Oh, yeah. And this was like one of the first art pieces I had, the small ones that I was doing. Some of those I had printed, too. That was when I was playing around with the printing. I think yours is the original one painted, though.
Yeah, it's stenciled on it, with the art thief.
Exactly.
And then I think that it's painted. I'll bring it in next time. Yeah.
And then...
So tell me, where did it come from?
So
and what
this is really cool. This is the art thief, and what I had this idea, I think it must have been 15, maybe 10 years ago, and I'm always trying to figure what would be really cool for paintings. And I thought that what if a girl's carrying a painting, like she's stealing it, and she's got the gloves and the boots. That's the idea of the art thief. She's stealing the painting away. She's got her boots and gloves, and look at even the expression on her face. Whoa, I'm gonna get busted. Being careful. And then on this one, this is a newer one.
You have a lot. You have your butterflies. You have art thief. You have a lot of.
So this one, I'm incorporating everything into one. So I'm incorporating the Richterish type of feel with the background. I'm incorporating the art thief with the bases of the painting, and a really cool frame to make it special, because I think this frame gives it a lot of interesting things.
And the butterflies and
then these butterflies are just painted really like to perfection, and this is a beautiful piece.
And she even looks shadow-esque too.
Yeah,
like she's trying to hide.
Yeah, she does look a little shadowy.
That's cool.
Really
I love
fun piece. And then I'll give you one over here. This is another one of the women paintings, and this is part of like the bikini girls. But again, I used the background of an abstract, of just a pure abstract.
I love that.
And then I start painting into it, and then I go back into the painting. So it kind of, it's called a push and pull technique. And that was what Hans Hofmann used to teach. He taught at Berkeley, and that was something I learned about through, I guess, some videos or some books that I had read when I started painting. But it's a pushing and a pulling of the paint, and tanking it on, scratching it off,
Yeah.
and then putting it back on again. And that way you can fix your mistakes. There's really no mistakes in art, though.
No,
it's
it's
whatever.
just...
Everyone's got their idea of what they like. It's not what's better or what's worse. It's what you like.
Yeah, it's your interpretation. It's subjective.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about this one. This one is really interesting because you incorporated actual Chanel items in with the Chanel themed painting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There was a woman that I became really good friends with. I did a big fashion show at the Hotel Marmont. I think it was 15 years ago, pretty close to that.
Yeah.
And we did it for, it was a really big company, like, I can't remember the name of the company. Shit, I got CRS, can't remember shit.
I've never
That was my grandma's favorite joke. When you get old, you really appreciate it. Unbelievable. But yeah, it was like a Hermes type of company in that type of category.
Okay.
Really, really major, major company. So Debbie Wingham, she does the world's most expensive of everything, whether it be a diamond purse or whether it be a woman's
bra,
shoe.
This or that. I think I've seen stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's super famous for like world's most expensive. So we always just got along really well, and she lives out of the country, but when she came in town, her and her husband came over, and we went out for some drinks and dinner, and got along really well. The next thing I know, we talked about doing a collaboration. She was like, I want you to be my next project, and I want to collaborate with you on something. I have a really good idea. So Debbie gave me this incredible idea called the Reborn collection.
Okay.
So the Reborn collection is taking items that are from people's possessions, and whether they're closet or whatever it is, jewelry, belts, necklaces, sunglasses, everything. On this particular one, we took the real Chanel necklace, the real Chanel belt, and the real Chanel purse. And I had to figure out a way. Debbie actually came out here. I think she was in London at the time, or Spain, and she came out here, and we put this together after I made the painting of Karl Lagerfeld's Muse.
Oh, yeah.
And right after he died, this is when we were working on this. So all of this was put together, and now I'm kind of in a partnership with Debbie on this and a couple of other pieces.
This is a gorgeous piece.
Yeah,
I mean, the painting itself, you have the
piece.
abstract in the back, black and gray and whites, and then she just pops. She has like a sort of a shadow, ghost almost figure around her that's making her pop off of the painting. Is this a particular model or
yeah,
or
it's Karl Lagerfeld's Muse. I forget what her name is,
that's what
but this is her.
This is her.
Yeah, this is her. So this would be incredible in some woman's.
My wife would die for this.
Anyone would. Yeah. This is a neat one. Really fun.
That's so cool.
But
man.
I do like the idea, and I haven't really done much. We did 6 paintings in this body of work, and I just got busy, and with everything else going on in the world, I kind of pushed back on it. We haven't done much with it, but eventually we'll come out and we'll do something pretty strong with this whole series.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Fun stuff, and great idea.
This is awesome.
Yeah, so really interesting story behind this. This is all basically handwritten, and it says art makes the world. This is why you and I are here today.
Yeah.
Because art unites everybody. Art makes the world go round, and that's a big statement that I've been doing on a lot
That's
of
also
paintings.
the title of this, Art Makes the World Go Round.
Art makes the world go round. That's what it should be. Yeah, it really does. And it's all about placing the right colors and having just a good consistency. You can mess things up so easily if you
Did you airbrush these on, or I mean, how did you?
This is all hand done with a spray paint bottle with a little knob.
Because that's so small. Like,
yeah,
how do
it's
you?
small. It's hard. It's hard. You have to get different tips for different sizes of the letters.
okay.
So I'm constantly changing out the tips on them. So some of them are small, some of them are big.
Yeah.
Some of them are wide spray, some of them spray at an angle. Some of them, you know, they're almost like a pen.
I really like this piece.
It's a fun piece. It's a really fun piece. I've done about 10 of these.
Do you have any small art?
I do.
You gotta show me some of those. I might be interested in
Great.
So,
yeah. I like this one a lot. It's a lot of fun, and it really promotes a really good message.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm all about promoting the right message to the world. I think that
it's important.
People just have to unite. I mean, it's so crazy what's going on.
Oh my
now.
God.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Daniel, thank you so much for meeting me in person. I really appreciate it. And remember, guys, design, invest, and repeat.